All right, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm on the internet again. I don't need to keep explaining this because everyone knows you can't meet in person because the pandemic's happening. But I like to always preface it by saying I'm online. I'm not meeting someone in person. I used to do this podcast and I would show up at people's jam spaces or where they record or anywhere. But now we're stuck to this. But it's still cool. And the guest on this episode of the show is someone who hasn't been on the show before, and I'm very interested in what you have to say because I have heard your music before. I know you have new music out, and I'm definitely interested in kind of your backstory and where you're coming from musically. So I think that the best way to start this off is if you want to introduce yourself and just give a bit of background as to where you come from.
Okay, my official name is Tresor Chimusa.
Okay.
My artist name is Tresor Ezoman, but a lot of people call me Ezoman in short.
Okay, sure.
But basically, I was born in the Republic Democratic of Congo. Been in Canada for 11 years now.
Okay.
Been a very great journey, learning this society, trying to integrate in the society, and I'm very grateful to be here and to share my life with my fellow Canadian now because I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to see where we came from and the difference of life where we came from, and here I'm very grateful
Cool.
being here.
Well, one of the things that I always find interesting is that, Winnipeg has, as I'm sure you know by now, has a very large music scene, so many different styles of music, so many different genres and backgrounds and everything. But I feel like the francophone music scene in particular is one of those, it's almost like a separate world unto itself. And I know a lot of your music is in French, and there's obviously a lot of French speakers here in Manitoba, but it does seem like a whole different sphere than the anglophone music scene, if you know what I mean. So I guess what was your introduction to music when you came to Winnipeg?
Basically for me, I had to learn the language. I had to learn English to be able to speak in English today. The only language that I could speak when I came to Canada, it's the language that I came with was French.
Okay.
I spoke French before because my country, actually, we do have official languages, and French is one of the official language that is actually being spoken all over the country for a long time. In school, everywhere you go, you can speak French. So I got a really good grasp of French basis.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for me, when I got here and I look at the new world that I am in, I was inspired by the culture shock, by especially the multiculturalization that I find here. And you can see there's a lot of people from everywhere. Like we all came. It looks like this country has been built on people from everywhere. And it doesn't matter if you're from the Congo, if you're from the Europe or from Asia. When you come here, when you embrace the Canadian culture, it's like, you blend in. And I was very impressed by that. And I was very, very inspired. And that's what actually pushed me to write the first album. It's all in French, Nouveau Monde, Nouvelle Perspective, because I found myself being in a new world where I had to have some new perspective to be able to live and sustain my life on a stability that I wanted to.
Okay. Did you find when you started doing music here, did you find that there was a welcoming community in terms of the style of stuff you were doing, and especially because you were performing in French?
Yes. I will say the French community really has always been there for us as new artists, especially francophone artists. You'll see my first album. I was able to perform for a lot of festivals. For example, Festival du Voyageur.
Which is huge here. I mean, it's such a massive festival.
It's huge, right? And and I remember that was my first actually festival in my whole entire life. It was amazing to be able to be part of it.
Yeah.
You can see the Centre Culturel Franco-Manitobain.
That's a great venue.
always pushing projects to push artists, especially French speakers,
Hmm.
with their talents and promoting them. And a huge shout out to Lesano, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
Lesano has been there for francophone artists for a long time. I think they've shaped my way up, if I can say that, in so many ways. The first grant that I got from the second album that I even wrote, Message Codé,
I have that one.
I
It's a good
got.
record.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I got help actually writing the the Manitoba Film and Music. They always have that project where artists can submit to
Right.
ask for grant. So, and I was very fortunate to work with Jeremy and Gosselin, and with the help with the Sano. They helped me to actually get some funding
Okay.
from other businesses. So really, the society, the community has been really, really welcomed, welcoming new talents and welcoming new ideas, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely. Did you have any difficulty breaking into the anglophone music scene? Obviously, as a French speaker, you have a definite into the francophone scene. But I mean, as far as English music goes, especially hip hop, because we have a big hip hop scene in Manitoba, and most of it is in English.
And that's definitely true because uh, I over the years, after 2011 and 13, because my two first album were all in French.
Yeah.
From 2013 to 2016, I produced those two albums. They were all in French, but I find out that it wasn't only French speakers that were actually coming to my shows.
Yeah.
Weren't only French speakers who were actually into my music, and the people that actually supported a lot my music were coming from other cultures. And really, for me, I've find it's an amazing thing to be able to do things that people understand and people can relate to,
Sure.
and that's what pushes me for my third project to start tackling some topics and ideas in English. I'm not good at English yet very well, but I think I got a little bit of knowledge that I can share with my little English that I know,
Well, you sound
So.
fluent here. I mean, like, so you're nailing the English thing right now. So you definitely shouldn't worry about it. But yeah, no, it's I mean, like, one of the things that, well, first of all, I guess go back to something you said a bit earlier about coming here and seeing how multicultural it is, and just the wide variety of different styles and different types of music that are happening and different people appreciating it. When you came here, what kind of stuff were you into before you came? Like, is the type of music you're playing now, was that still what you were listening to back home? Or back in your previous home, I guess, because this is a home now? Yeah.
I can say yes. Basically, my background, I came from a very religious
Okay.
family. My dad used to sing. My mom used to sing in church. And we grew up that way where a lot of gospels, a lot of
Okay.
English music, but more on a gospel genre. I
Okay.
can say artists more of I like, if I can name some, you can see before we even come to Canada, I used to listen to the Adams,
Okay.
Yolanda Adams, like a lot of more artists that used to sing Christian music. And then after that, I find out that with my evolution as a human being in a
Yeah.
society where I live, I start finding that there's not only talking about religion or talking about spirituality that's the only thing that is surrounding me. Uh, there's a way that people are living around me that's probably I would love to talk about. I
Mhm.
would love to be the voice of the people that do not have that voice. I would love to tackle some topics that probably somebody else cannot talk about in podcasts or
Sure.
in radio and television, but with music you can use it as a nice bridge to bring out those kind of ideas, and how me as a human being, I view the society and how the society is acting. It's relating to me as a human being, you know, and that's what pushes me to start listening to a lot of music. Like I can say, uh, Nas, for example,
Sure.
has been one of the greatest artists that I've listened to over and over and
Yeah.
over and over. You know, Talib Kweli, for example. Those are the people for me that are my legends. You know,
Okay.
Jay-Z, for example, in terms of business and how he do his stuff. Like I've been very, very inspired by him. And
Okay.
all that background now, from the way I understood it, I understand it. I kind of include it in myself and try to create the new me.
Okay.
And like if there's other artists that has been influencing me right now, I can say uh, more likely it's I like the new album for Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. 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 Right on. Right on.
It's amazing to see what the guys can be talking about. I like the history that connects with a little bit of spirituality, a
Sure.
little bit of human history. You know, like I those are my kind of things that I always grew up with, and has made me who I am today.
Okay. Well, you know, it's interesting. Speaking of some of these topics that you want to kind of present that maybe other people can't talk about or aren't talking about, I noticed on your new single, there's definitely some serious content there. I mean, it's some of the things you're talking about right off the bat too, like right off the beginning of the song, you're talking about some serious issues. So, I guess what is that something you've done much of in the past in terms of just tackling, serious social issues head on like that?
Definitely, like you can go back in Nouveau Monde Nouvelle Perspective, for example. When I did Nouveau Monde Nouvelle Perspective, you'll see uh, most of the idea behind what I was talking about. It's really what we are living in, you know.
Hmm.
Um, for example, in Message Codé, I'm talking about
I think you better froze.
how sometimes coming with with codes that you have to, it might be poison, it might be something, but
Right.
you still receive them as a gift. So there's a lot of allegories that I use in my music. There is a lot of I try to be honest to myself on the way I see things. For
Okay.
example, in the new song, for example, you'll see I'm talking about, you know me as a human being. How am I seeing the society today? And I try to look at, all this Black Lives Matter that
Hmm.
actually kind of flooded everywhere in the world.
Yeah,
And
it was huge. Yeah.
the police brutality to Black people and Black community, um, the like everything that is going around uh, human society right now. Is it something that we love, or is it something that we hate?
Okay.
And I just wanted to point that out and leave to the audience actually to see, oh yeah, like, I mean, it is what we're living, and it's the matter of how we view it. It's probably the police in Love and Hate, for example. Probably
Hmm.
the police, they don't see that they were doing bad things. They were trying to do their job by protecting themselves, protecting their families, protecting the people that they love, and
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that. But on the other side of Black community that has been, being treated like criminals and stuff like that
Hmm.
unfairly, they feel oppressed, so you can see how our actions in the society sometimes can look good, and if you look on the other angle, sometimes they can look bad. And those are the kind of things I like to talk about in my projects, in my
Yeah.
music. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how, yeah, depending on this perspective, you can get a completely
Exactly.
different story. It depends on who's telling the story, right? And yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So, does your background? I mean, coming here, relatively recently, like 9 years is a long time, or 10 years, whatever it was you said. But I mean, do you feel that your experience growing up, in a very different world than Canada, has that influenced the content of your songs? I imagine it must have, right?
Definitely, I can say there's a progression. There's a progression in my way of thinking.
Okay.
There's a projection in my way of writing. There's a I can say I've 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 grown as a human being too. I've been experiencing a lot of different uh, things in my personal life that I feel like it's even making me more knowledgeable and be more aware of what's going on around me, right?
Right.
So yes, being in Canada has changed me a lot, not only in terms of my music career, but also as a human being. It made me appreciate the life I have now, and it made me think about the life I used to have before I came to Canada and how
Okay.
I can make it better, you know. And in my music, for example, a lot of people knows that when I have a concert, when I have something, if there's any money that I get, I really don't use my music for my personal gain anymore.
Okay.
I try to use whatever that I can have to maybe help somebody that is in the need. You know, if for example I get $2, $3, $4, $10, $100, or whatever that I get, I try to send it back to Africa because that's where I came from. I try
Cool.
to see if I can do something that will be more beneficial to my community and the people around me.
Yeah. Well, that's a cool way of doing it too. I think because I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to enrich themselves and thinking that music is going to be a path to fame and fortune, right? But
That's a big problem that I found out when I started music,
yeah,
because I think I had the wrong impression, and I'm gonna explain why.
sure.
The wrong impression is you'll see a lot of people that are successful right now. Yes, they're making a lot of money, and
Yeah.
when you get into the music industry, you said, okay, I got talents like this person, so I can do this for a living and make money. But the reality is, I find out it's very, very hard for a new person or a new artist to actually do music only and live off of their music,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was one of the reasons why I had to readjust again my way of thinking. I wanted to do music full time when I started in Canada. I loved the opportunity of being able to do it, but after a while, I find out that I couldn't do it 100%. You know, like for my day-to-day living
Yeah.
thing. You know, I had to apply for jobs like everybody else. I had to go to school like everybody else. And now, since I found that stability, I have my career job as a train conductor,
Oh,
and
cool. Okay.
also I do own my music firm that I'm helping artists and stuff like that. So I find that stability in terms of money. So I'm not really in the need of thinking, what am I going to put on the table for my family?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's now using my talents to promote or help somebody else that is in need. If I make some money, that's fantastic, but really I'll try to use whatever that I can to make a smile on somebody else's face if I can, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
aside from the single, which just came out, I guess it was what a few weeks ago.
It comes out on November 27th.
Okay.
Actually, I was planning on launching it in January.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but I think on November 20th, something just clicked in my brain, and I said, "This single gotta come out now." Like
Yeah.
I was just like, "Okay, so this has to come out now." Like, there's no way I'm waiting until January to actually launch it.
Yeah.
And that's how it came out. I mean, some media I never even planned the marketing process like I used to plan for my other albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was supposed like you know, I don't know if a lot of people knows that my third project album is called Duality.
Okay.
And the duality, I want to try to explore the polarity of things. I've been questioning myself in my life. Why is that when we're young, we always want to be older? Like, you know, like you can ask somebody else, like a kid of 7 years, what do you want to become one day?
Yep.
They'll say, I want to be an astronaut, or I
Yeah.
want to be a president like Donald Trump.
I
You know,
hope
like
not, but yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then when you ask Donald Trump, what's the best thing you would like to have right now? He's going to say, oh, I remember when I was young. Like,
Sure.
there's always that thing that goes back to what we don't have or what
Yeah.
we had. So I want to explore that. And the first project is called Love and Hate. I wanted to explore the polarity of
Yeah.
love hates is one thing, but you can look at it differently, right? On a different angle, it can look like hate. On the other angle, it can look like love. So by me saying that, that project, it's being planned to be released next year.
Okay.
And I wanted to start my marketing and everything in January. But on November 20th, like something just clicked in my brain, and I was just like, okay, that's it. I just not waiting no more. I'm just gonna throw it out there and see how people actually react.
Yeah.
And the reactions were incredible. I received in my phone only, it was about 670 texts from
Wow.
because I know a lot of people like personally.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
670 texts that I had to reply to. On Facebook, don't even talk about it. A lot of messages. I went on my Snapchat.
Yeah.
Oh, it was flooded, and I was just like, okay. So I think it's a great reaction so far.
Yeah,
So
the timing was good.
I felt like the timing was good. Right away, the CBC Radio, thank you for them. They called me for interview.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of more interview, and there's more interview coming about the song and about the project. So which is, for me, I never really planned it. And I feel there's something that I just learned by doing this, because really sometimes I think the moment we have to really capitalize the moments. Like there's something that when you feel, it feels like your heart actually has some how can I say, some particle that's actually has reasons and believing in something. Like my brain was telling me to do it in January, but my heart actually was like, do it now. Like this is a moment, do it now and just throw it out there.
And your heart won, obviously.
And my heart won. So a lot of people think that we gotta use our brain all the time, but I think we gotta reevaluate that. You know, like probably our hearts too kind of does some mysterious things.
Yeah. And so this is your first release in a while, right? Like you took some time off from the music thing.
Definitely, yeah. So after 2016, I got married to a beautiful wife, Stephanie, and we got our first kids coming in, and the second one. Actually, we lost the first one, and then we got the second one and the third one.
Okay.
Life was overwhelming.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
In terms of, I needed to find balance of time that I'm gonna be giving to my wife, time to my kids, and I have to make sure I am actually acting as a dad, working for your family, and bring food on the table. So I couldn't do that only with music. You know, I had to step back and look at what I have and look at what is the thing that I need to do and start doing one thing at a time. At one point, I thought I was done with music because I couldn't do it anymore because of life pressure that I had. And, you know, after a while, like after I got everything that I was looking for, the stability with my family, my wife and everything, I found out like I was just maybe running away from myself, you know? And when I say running away from myself, means I was running away from music, and music actually it's me kind of thing. It's who I am.
Sure.
And at one point I couldn't live anymore without doing anything in music, you know? And that's what exactly made me, if I can say, come back to music. But really, I never left the music industry. I never left that era. It's been me. It has been with me for all this time I've been off. And I'm very happy. It helped me, the time off helped me to find balance, like I said, with my life, myself, and my family. I kind of worked on my English because I wanted to be able to have interviews like this. And, you know, I work on the language, and I can say my writing also has improved a lot in terms of, because I always see myself as a change. And there is changes that I would love to see in the society, but I know myself, I cannot make those changes, but I
Mhm.
can make those changes in me.
Okay.
So I want to make those changes in me and see that change is me changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and if those changes actually can be able to change who I am, that means they can change the society. Like I always use myself as an experimental body kind of thing.
Okay. Okay.
Like
You're
I would
you're the
love.
test case.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to see the world that is more accepting for others. I would love to live in the world where there's no racism. I would love to live in the
Yeah.
world where we respect everybody, women, men, whatever your sexual orientation or whatever, like people should respect people because we're all human.
Yeah.
I
For
would
sure.
love to see the humanity come together as human beings. Look at what happening with COVID-19. It's teaching us that we gotta come back together to whatever that can actually hurts one person, it can hurt the other person. So
Yeah.
you like it or not, we're all connected, and we have to think again back on how to live as a human being, as a humanity society, and for me to have those changes, I'm not gonna come and say, oh, my brother has to change, my mother has to change, or my sister has to change. So those changes has to be in me first.
Yeah.
So like right now, I'm trying to help as much as I can. I'm glad I have the job that I have. So whoever is in need or somebody needs to help with anything that, we're all going through some different times, I'm trying to help as much as I can. I don't care if you're white or black or Asian. Like you're in a need, you're in a need.
Totally.
You should be helped as a human being. I can be in a need, and everybody can help me too. So that's how I think. I see things.
Do you have faith that the younger generations are going to maybe have a better understanding of that? Because I think that things are changing slowly, of course, but I think that things are changing for the better. Where I see my kids, and their friends are from everywhere, and there's no. I don't know if that's the same for every kid everywhere, but I mean, they're meeting people from all these different countries, and I've definitely noticed that my neighbors and coworkers, the world is getting, in Winnipeg even specifically, is getting more multicultural, which is a great thing. And I think people are, for the most part, there's some who aren't for sure, but
Yeah.
people for the most part are trying to understand the differences and the sameness of all of us. And like you're saying, trying to find ways to develop as people and hopefully lead to a better world. Do you think that the younger generations are maybe better at that than even we are?
Uh, I think there's a very good understanding of the human being behavior and human being way of living to the
Yeah,
new generation because of the problem that we're facing today. The problem that we're facing today, it's actually making everybody understand that you will die alone if you're actually being selfish.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
If you feel like you can fulfill everything for yourself and not need help from anybody, yeah, it's tough. We have to think for the future for sure. Like I believe that our kids will have a lot of questions,
hmm
and us as parents today, we have to be prepared to give them the exact good answers.
yeah. The honest answers. Yeah, yeah,
Honest answers.
yeah.
Like for example, when the economy collapsed, when our life changed, when everything changed, because they will never knew what it was before.
No, they won't.
And they would love to know, okay, so I heard you guys used to do this and this and that. Why did you guys change it to this way? So us as parents, we have to make sure we have the honest answer, like we said,
Yeah, yeah,
for them to be able to countersize it, right? So when I look at the world, the way it's evolving and the way things are going, I feel like everybody should be in an obligation of doing things that it's not only helping us today, but also it's going to help the generation to come.
sure.
All actions that we have to take today has to be those actions that will help the generation to come, saying that, without our parents or our ancestors doing this, we could have been dead, or we could have
Right.
been
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way different society. I mean, today everybody is blaming the climate change and what's going in the world. You will see that if, for example, everything from air pollution to leading the disparition of life can be blamed onto the industrial revolution. Maybe the way they invested in jobs, the way they invested in society, the way they invested in things were way, on the radical side, and that's what's killing the world today.
Right.
So what is that now we can do different from what happened into the industrial era in the world, so that we can actually maybe reverse the climate change,
Yeah.
reverse what's happening to the world, so we can save lives down the road, so we can give hope to our kids. I will be very, very sad, me passing away one day and not having anything as a legacy that I can lead to my kids
Sure.
that will save their lives, or that will make their life better.
Yeah.
And that's my goal of every day, to see if I can do something that, not only for me today, but also something better for the generation to come.
That's a great goal. I think everyone
Thank
should
you.
probably have that goal. So it's a definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how to say that better than you just said it. And it's a pretty, that's a good way to live, I think. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, if someone is hearing about you for the first time on this show, where can they
Yes.
find your music? Where can they hear the new single? Where can they hear the old stuff? What's the best option for them to look you up?
Okay, so the new single actually came with my sobriquet, my name, my artist name, Ezoman.
Right.
So if you write Ezoman, love and hate everywhere, on
Okay.
Amazon, on iTunes, on Spotify, you name it, you're gonna find that song over there.
Okay.
But my artist name, you can write Tresor Ezoman everywhere again. On YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, you'll definitely find me. And my websites right now, I like Bandcamp. For some
Yeah.
reason, I found
Bandcamp's
out
great.
Bandcamp is very good. Just with the way they help you to build your fan base, and
Yeah.
to keep it simple and easy. You know what I mean? And I found out it's way better. I can suggest that to a lot of artists, instead
Well,
of
you get
having
you
a
get
lot
actual
of.
money from it too. You actually make money.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So instead of having a lot of big, huge websites that are costing you gigantic money,
Yeah.
probably Bandcamps is better. So on Bandcamps, I'm Tresor Ezoman, bandcamp.com. So you can definitely see all my albums there, from Nouveau Monde, Nouvelle Perspective, Message Codé, and the new
The new
single
one.
Love and Hate. It's over there.
Great. Awesome. Okay. So.